So welcome back. I was given the directive to attempt to do this on a weekly basis, so bear with me. I might skip a week or two, but we're off to a good start. This is week 2. so, the reading today, I am going to let Spirit tell me what it's going to be called after I finish the video. But I feel definitely that there's some shifts coming, especially astrological shifts. That is not my forte. I have some friends who give me some wonderful information, which technically goes in one ear and out the other, but I do know that some major changes are happening in the next few days. So signs are moving around, and I figured a few of you would be feeling some upheaval, as I have been. Excitement, but some upheaval. So the card reading today, once again, I will work with the four decks, one from each of the decks, unless Spirit guides otherwise, like it did last week. And I will spend a little bit less time talking about the decks. If you need more information about what I do and the types of decks that I use, please message me directly. So the first deck I will use is Mystic Bliss. Seems to be my habit to go in the order that they were created. Not always, just depends on what Spirit suggests, but there's Mystic. I gotta find the right angle here. There's Mystic Bliss, and it is the Change and Transformation deck. And as I said, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the stories behind each of the decks, but more detail will come as I'm guided to speak about it. Now, 2 cards wanted to come out. I did scooch the other one back in because I do want to keep this pretty short and concise. We'll see. We'll see if I move to take another card from this deck. All right. This card is I Am Realization. And the imagery of this card features a fanciful, I guess would you'd call it an elf figure who is in contemplation. But the interesting thing is when you look directly at the eyes, we are realizing that there's this awareness, this aha moment. And this is what I Am Realization is about. The aha moment that you're going to experience over the next few days, and it's going to come through in the dreams or downloads or the humming in your ears, depending on how you receive your messages and downloads. But it does feel like a realization of something that's always been there. And I say always, you know, because it's timeless, but at the same time, innate information that you have been holding on to, in a sense. And when we go within, as the process seems to be happening more and more souls, more people are going within to tap into what resources are existing for them already, without the worry that, you know, this information is old information, because there's no such thing as old downloads, old information. It comes back up when it's needed, when you need it. And the self-realization, I Am Realization card reminds us that we need to realize what's already within us and realize our worth and our selves as conduits. That's an interesting intuitive hit here I'm just getting. Be aware that you are a conduit of the information, and that when you realize this, information flows through you with less resistance and more awareness, more aha moments, as the figure in this card symbolizes for us. The message below it, and in this deck I do have messages on the cards as well as the phrase, the I am phrase. The message below it says, sweet is the knowledge of self-worth. And when we stop comparing ourselves to others and their measure of what is good, successful, whatever. Then your self-worth enhances, and then it just expands. So sweet is the knowledge of self-worth. I am realization is the first card. As we go through these shifts and we start to receive what seems like repeated information, again, I'm saying there's no such thing as old information. It does come back in cycles until we acknowledge it, until we adopt it into our being. And actions. I'm being told to add actions there. Okay, so my guides have said that I don't need a second card from this deck at this time, and that I need to do a reading for myself after, actually, is what I just got. So as much as when I'm reading for others, and especially in a group situation, as this is technically, I am receiving messages as well. But apparently there's something I'm needing to listen to later from the Mystic Bliss deck. The card from the Mystic Journey deck, the second deck that I created, and this is the back of it, that card is I am grateful. Nice. I'm excited because this card has not come up in a reading in a while. And lately, with doing as many readings as I'm doing, the fact that some cards are still waiting for the right time to come out and be presented is just so interesting to me. And so I'm excited. So the card, whether she is receiving or she is giving, is kind of hard to tell from this card. But I want to point out that she is a water card. If you know the alchemetic symbol for water, which is represented in the corners, but there is also a water represented in the card. And the vessel that she's holding is a shell, half a shell, and there was water in it when we were photographing. So what's interesting about that is that it's talking about our emotional reserves to a certain degree, how we go with the flow to a certain degree, and when we are in gratitude for what we have in our hands, but also to what is at our disposal, because she could dip her vessel into the water again and refill. And this is the message that is very prominent for me as I'm looking at this card, wishing to share this with you as we're going through the transitions and the changes of the energies on this planet, in the solar system. Your guides, my guides, want to share that being in a state of grace, in gratitude and acceptance for whatever you have to offer, as well as whatever you are receiving, is a beautiful flow. I just got the figure 8, or infinity more so, as energy moves in and moves out. This is the energy of gratitude. Sitting in gratitude, being in gratitude, being gratitude, or in this case being grateful, we resonate at a certain frequency, very different than when we're sitting in fear or lack or resistance. This is an allowing energy. This is a fluid energy. So be grateful. Sit in gratitude. This will assist with the downloads and incorporating those into your energy, into your awareness, into your realization. So far, this is combining beautifully. Normally does. So it's what's fun. But as I said, that card had not come up for a while, so I enjoyed sharing it with you in this particular case. This, as I tend to use the jumpers, just for those of you who are new. This is the Mystic Magic deck. The energy of this deck is action and awareness, also focused on the archetypes of the sacred masculine, which is interesting right now because I did a reading this morning online for a client, and this card came up, and we spoke at length about it. So I'm not sure if I've got too much more to add to this, but I will see what I can do. The card is I am listening. The energy is the action of paying attention, kind of a nice mirror for the I am realization. Listen to what is coming in. Be grateful for what you hear as part of the messages that are coming through for you this week. Be attentive, because in being attentive and listening is when we unite with the energy of the information. I feel this is an information message today, that you will be receiving some insights and downloads. However is your habit to receive that. As I said, some people hear it, the hum in their ear. Some people feel it in their body, like a push-pull energy. Other people see a visual, maybe some dreams, maybe a vision. The energy of the other senses as well, such as smell. Familiar smells can trigger for some people, and then it opens them up. So be aware of what triggers you, pay attention, and listen to what comes in. The archetype, there's 11 archetypes in this deck, and the archetype of this one, this particular card, is one of the 4 rangers. The rangers are a representation of those who step ahead, go forward before the rest of the group to make sure everything is safe. So those of you who are listening, who are light bringers, energy workers, any kind of healing energy, I would say that you need to, not need, let's rephrase that. I've been given the directive to rephrase that, are given the option to break new ground, to step into unfamiliar territory and make it familiar, make it known, give it some warmth and some light so that it can be a path others can follow. So the ranger is the adventurous, not always fearless, because being fearless sometimes make us careless. That's the word I'm looking for. Caution is always important, but it is about going forward, knowing that there's something at the end of the road that you can share and assist other people with. So here we go. We have 3 cards currently out. The I am realization, I am grateful, and I am listening. That's a nice little sentence there. I'm just going to sit with that one for a second, whether it needs to be shared or whether that was just for me. I just got a little tickle, I guess, an awareness, something tickled in the back of my head, where I sometimes will receive my messages. Normally those are private messages, so I'll see if it needs to be shared. But the 4th card from the Mystic Commitment deck is I am knowledgeable. Wow. It's so fitting. It goes so beautifully with the other 3 cards about reassurance that you are part of the system that is informing and co-creating what is coming into our existence right now. You have the knowledge. Again, it may be buried, it may feel like old information. It just needs to be revisited or reawakened within you so that you have a deeper connection with it, or a renewed connection with it, more so. this is part of what was tickling at my consciousness just a few moments ago about, for me, it's about definitely tapping into the knowledge that has been passed on by others. For a lot of years, I haven't actually done any deep research and seeking out information to enhance what I already know. I was doing an awful lot of inner work and trusting what was coming in from spirit, coming in from my intuition. But lately I've been getting a lot of hits in communication with others where I'm getting that I need to review some of the books that I have had the honor of possessing, and that also new books are coming into my consciousness via people speaking about books that influence them. And I resisted doing an awful lot of reading prior to add to my knowledge, because I knew I was already knowledgeable, as we all are, depending on, well, not depending, but where we are knowledgeable will depend on the life experiences and what we've allowed ourselves to engage with. So one of the things I wasn't allowing myself to engage with was a lot of writing from other people. But now that I have established who I am, and as you have probably now, and this is the message I'm getting to share, now that you feel secure in who you are, or will be feeling more secure in who you are, it's time to expand your knowledge. It's time to revisit and listen. I'm listening to those sharings that people have done with me lately about books that would be beneficial. And when I say beneficial, it just means enhancing what I've already am knowledgeable about. The phrase of this one, there is a phrase on this one, I don't know if you can read it. There we go, I can make it so that you can read it. Thoughts have power. So true. And in the similar reflection about looking beyond what I already know, what you already know, seeking additional information, somebody else's thoughts, what they put on paper, what they shared, is also important for us to tap into. So trust what you're guided towards to enhance and bolster your knowledge. Yes, I'm hearing this for myself as well. And be confident that the right information will stick. Because sometimes when we're given information, as I was saying earlier, I have friends who have recently offered me some wonderful insights as to my chart, astrological chart. Again, it's not my area of expertise. Only a bit of it stuck, but I know that the bit that stuck as we were talking was what I needed, the sponge that's my intuition pulled in as part of the information that will assist me level out my my experience as I, like you, travel through the changes that are coming over the next little while. This week, I am confident that it's a positive change, that we have an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to explore, and an opportunity to expand. So expand your knowledge, listen to where you're being guided, be grateful for the gifts that are coming to you, and realize, be in a state of realization as to who you are as a conduit of information, as a leader, as a guiding light. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say it. I'll see you next week.